Alright guys, so this is chapter 3. It's going to be the first lesson. And the first 4 lessons, honestly, I think are going to be, I'm hoping, are going to be pretty easy for you guys. Not necessarily, but if you've been paying attention since the beginning of the year and been doing the warm-ups and actually working, especially this lesson should be easy. So what it's doing, or what we're going to be doing, is adding. We're working on adding again, but this time with decimals, okay? So, like in example 1 on page 177, it says find each sum. So we have 7.2 plus 9.5. So what's important is when you write this out, 7.2, 9.5, make sure your decimal places are lined up. You see how they're directly above each other? And then you add it just like we do on the warm-up. So 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 plus 9 is 16, and then bring the 1 down, 16. So look, if your decimal places are lined up, bring it straight down and put it into your answer. So there's the answer, 16.7. So let's do it again. Watch how I make sure my decimal places are lined up. I have 2, and then I am adding 1.34. So notice how I've lined it up. So this is just 2.00. I don't have to put the 0.00, but notice the 2 is over the 1. Okay? So 0 plus 4 is 4. 0 plus 3 is 3. 2 plus 1 is 3. Alright, next one. Watch how I line my decimal places up. So I have 54.5 being added to 48.51. So 5 and 4, 4 and 8, point, 5, nothing, and 1. So if I want, I can just put a 0 there. So 0 plus 1 is 1. 5 plus 5 is 10. 1 plus 4 is 8. 1 plus 4 is 5. Plus 8 is 13. 1 plus 5 is 6. Plus 4 is 10. And bring the decimal straight down. So I have an answer of 103.01. Let's do another one. Find the difference again. So if you've been doing this with me since the beginning of the year, subtracting numbers, this should be fairly easy for you. So we have 5.6 and we're subtracting 3.5. Okay, so again, I got to make sure my decimal places are lined up. So 6 minus 5 is 1. That's good. 5 minus 3 is 2. Bring down the decimal. My answer is 2.1. Okay, make sure my decimal places are lined up here. So I have 97 minus 16.98. Now here may be a tricky part a little bit. So notice I have nothing over here. So let me just put dot 0, 0. Everything's lined up, decimal places. 9 with the tens, the ones, the tenths, the hundredths places. Now you can't subtract 8 from 0. Okay, so I have to borrow from here, but I can't borrow from here, so I have to borrow from here. So that's a 6, that makes that a 10. Let's borrow from the 10, that's a 9, that's a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2, 9 minus 9 is 0, 6 minus 6 is 0, 9 minus 1 is 8. Let's bring down the decimal point place. It's still not all that bad, guys. It's still not all that bad. Okay, so right here, 58.61, so 58.61, and I'm going to subtract 28.72. 28.72. 1 minus 2, well, I can't do that, so I have to borrow from the 6. 11 minus 2 is 9. 5 minus 7, well, I can't do that, so I'm going to have to borrow from the 8. 15 minus 7 is 8. 7 minus 8, can't do that, so I have to borrow from the 5. 17 minus 8 is 9. 4 minus 2 is 2. 29.89. Okay. Next one, it says, the table shows the top 3 finishers in barrel racing. What is the time difference between Ahmed and Salman? Ahmed and Salman. Okay, so the time difference, so let's take Salman's time, 16.4. And the reason I'm using his is because his is bigger. So it's easier to subtract a smaller number from a bigger number. So there's Salman's, there's Ahmed's, so I'm going to subtract these two. I can't take 7 from 0, so I'm going to have to borrow. So 10 minus 7 is 3. Have to borrow again. 13 minus 6 is 7. 5 minus 4 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So my answer is going to be 1.73 seconds. Okay, sure, I'm just going to keep on going with this. Oh man, I started on the second page, I'm sorry. So the other page is right here, 176. So I'm actually going to work them backward on this video. I'm on page 177. Alright, in 2 months, Maha spent a total of 305.43 on groceries. She spent this much in the first month. How much did she spend in the second? How much did she spend in the second month? What they meant to say is how much more. Oh, no, they didn't. I'm sorry. So it says, in 2 months, Maha spent a total of that much. She spent this in the first month. So how much did she spend the second month? Well, what that's asking us to do is take 305.43, the total she spent, and subtract what she spent the first month. So notice my decimal places are lined up. Everything is lined up. 3 minus 0 is 3, 4 minus 2 is 2, 5 minus 3 is 2, 0 minus 1, oh, can't do that, so I have to borrow. 10 minus 1 is 9, 2 minus 2 is 0, so that's how much she spent the second month. 92 dirham and 23 fils. Okay, I'm going to skip number 9, and I'm going to go back to the first page. So let's go ahead and do this. It says, find each sum or difference. Okay, so I have 14.7, and it's adding to 87.9. 9 plus 7, so look, again, my decimals are lined up. 9 plus 7 is 16. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 7 is 12. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 8 is 10. Bring the decimal straight down, so my answer is 102.6. Alright, here's a difference. So 66.5 minus 24.1. 5 minus 1 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. Bring the decimal straight down. My answer is 42.4. Here's another difference. Subtraction. So 52.1, 31.47. A little bit tricky here. Everything is lined up except I'm missing a 0 right here, so I can put a 0 there. It's after the decimal point, so it's not changing the number. It's still 52.1. 0 minus 7, can't do that, so I gotta borrow. 10 minus 7 is 3. 0 minus 4, I can't do that, so I have to borrow. 10 minus 4 is 6. 1 minus 1 is 0. 5 minus 3 is 2. Bring down the decimal, so 20.63. Alright, and last one on this video. Abdullah is making a snack mix for his family camping trip. He added 14.52 ounces of peanuts to 27.35 ounces of granola. How many ounces of snack mix does he have? So he has peanuts and he has granola, and he really is putting them together to make a snack mix. So that's addition. So we have 14.52 ounces of peanuts, and we have 27.35 ounces of granola, and we add them together, so we have 7. Notice my decimals are lined up. 7, we have 8, bring down the decimal, we have 7 and 4 is 11, and 1, 1, and 2 is 4. So we have 41.87 ounces. Okay, that's it for this video, guys. Again, main thing that you need to do is when you line up numbers to add or subtract them, main thing, make sure your decimal places are lined up. If you want, look at all of my decimals. They're all lined up. Decimals are all lined up. Decimals are all lined up. Okay? And sometimes it's necessary, if you look at number 3 and how I did that, to add a 0 after the number. Okay? Alright, that's it. I'm going to go on to the next video now.